Shabbat Shalom, the awesome tribes of Israel. This is Rabbi Simon Altaf HaKohen presenting another Shabbat to you from the East. A lot has happened since last Shabbat, and I thought that now is about the time to make the next recording, because this is a recording. I'm not doing this live due to having problems at the time with possible net issues or electricity issues, so hence I'm doing a pre-recording. Now we're going to do our joke section. There was a boy named William, and he lived in a small country church, and they went to their church and did their communion with their deacons and pastors, etc. And as you know, that they would pass their bread and juice around. So one Sunday, when William and his mother were attending the church out of town, there was a formal ceremony of communion, and normally the church just called it bread and juice, but in this particular church referred to the ceremony as elements, a word that William didn't understand. As communion began, the pastor said, "If the deacons will come forward, the elements will pass among us." William was suddenly excited, and the mother didn't know why. Then he leaned towards his mother, whispering something that caused her to burst out laughing. Then everybody started to stare on these two, and she took him by the hand and made a quick exit out of the church. And dragging William to the car, where he is protesting, "Mom, we are going to miss the circus. The pastor said the elephants were going to pass among us." So that's the joke of the week. Our Parsha today is Parsha's Noah. Bereshith, Genesis chapter 6 to Genesis chapter 6 to 9, 11 to 32, in which is discussed the genealogy of Noah, that Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generations, and it says Noah walked with Elohim. The word walk in the Hebrew language technically means that he was obedient to Yahweh's laws, statutes and judgments that were given him, and he was upright, and he did everything that he was asked to do by God. That's generally the sense of the word walk. And unfortunately, in modern language, the word walk is lost its meaning in scripture itself, but that's what it generally means. And it says that Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. So we'll come back to this. And before I come back to this, I'd like to give you a little of what's been happening since my last communication with you, and those that are listening in live, and those that are listening in perhaps through the internet, through the YouTube MP3. I would suggest that if you want to be notified of new teachings that go up, new videos that go up, then I would suggest that you subscribe to the videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Then whenever a new video or a new recording is posted, you will be informed, because that is our primary way of communicating with people on YouTube. I do put the teachings on my Facebook page, although I don't use Facebook that much, but I do put it on there, and that is available for people who are on Facebook. But other than that, if you are live, then generally speaking, Rabbi Kefa and myself, we are on Pal Talk every Saturday, every Shabbat, Sabbath day, at I believe it's because our times keep changing, and I believe our timing is 9 o'clock Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. We were at 10 o'clock Central Time, but I think we moved back to 9 o'clock 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and that might be 8 o'clock Central Time. Central Time is 1 hour behind. I think that's where we are presently. Although if we've changed, then by all means, Rabbi Kefa will be able to guide you as to more accurate timings if it's changed recently. We did have the clocks, and the daylight savings coming. That's already happened, November 3rd this week. So we're already in the new time zone. Now, as you know, I'm traveling in the east, and I would suggest that a lot of good things are happening as I travel, as I meet different families. There was an interesting happening that in the family's home where they have accommodated me as a guest, there's a lot of Christian families around me. There are Catholic churches around me. There are other Christian churches around me of all sorts of denominations. Pentecostal, you name it, they have the denomination over here. Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, even Jehovah's Witnesses are present in the midst as well. They're, as you know, what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. Now, I had a lady come to me with a daughter who was sick, and obviously she had found out that there was a man of God in this house, and she came in with a daughter, came to me in my room. I was sitting over here with some family members, and she addressed me and said that I have a daughter, a young daughter, was very young. She was only about maybe 10 years old, and she said that she had been sick for the last 3 days and doctors were not able to help her. She had excruciating stomach pain that she said would not go away with medication. So she asked me to pray for her daughter for healing. And so I did. I prayed for healing for her daughter. And I asked them how they were, and she told me a little bit about her family. So I sent her off. I said, go and, all be well. Your daughter will be healed. As you come, go in peace. As you come in peace, go in peace. So she went away. She came back later that day, and she explained to me that her husband was, he took substances. He was abusing substances, and that he would hit her at times, and that she was asking for a remedy of the situation with her husband and herself, so that he would take care of the family and not be absent in support of the family, and he would stop the substance abuse. So I petitioned for their family, and the lady went away. The next day the lady came back, the same lady, and she brought some food she cooked, and she said, I specially brought this for you. And I said, how is your daughter? She said, my daughter is healed. Thank you very much. And I said, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And I said, all will be well for you. Thank you for the food. As you come in peace, go in peace and be well. And so she left. And then I had other people attend this place who'd heard about me. The fame of the Levites goes far, far and wide. And they had heard that a son of Aaron had arrived, somebody who is of a Jewish descent, not of Christian descent or some other descent. And so they came especially, and then they would ask for me to pray for them. They would ask for me to lay hands on them. They would ask for me to tell them about Israel and the places of Israel that they read about in their Bible, and I was able to communicate with them, tell them the places in Israel, tell them the places of the prophets, tell them some of the stories that the Bible speaks about, different prophets, Prophet Elisha in Samaria, the prophet Elijah in the north, and of course about Moses, Aaron, Maryam, their sister. Talk about Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. Talk about his mother, his family, and his of course cousins, Yohanan and Matthew, the tax collector, Peter, of course, Peter and Yohanan, who were cousins to the Master Yahushua. Spoke about them, gave them some illustrative stories of what the New Testament refers to as the disciples of the Master Yahushua. So they were very fascinated about hearing these things, and they were like, you're a blessed man. If you're able to go to Israel and touch these places and visit these places, you're really blessed. We wish we could go. And I said, absolutely, I also would want you to go and look at it as well. Look at those places. But some of these people are not financially able to go. Secondly, Pakistan does not recognize Israel as a nation. They recognize Palestine, but not Israel. So there is no formal embassy here. And so anybody who wishes to go to Israel from this country on a Pakistani passport, they have to go through Jordan and cross into Israel and then visit the sites. And all of that is costly. And only the affluent people can afford such a trip over there. But nevertheless, these people are very faithful, sincere. I just feel that they've been given wrong teachings, misled by their pastors, by their so-called deacons and bishops. They're not really given the correct teachings of the Bible. They're not taught what the Master Yeshua taught. They're not taught Torah per se. They're taught principles of the Bible, maybe 50%, 60% maybe at that, but they're not really taught all the principles. And then the teachings are convoluted, they're not really geared towards living the lifestyle of Torah. They're more geared towards miracles, healings, and so I think a lot of people flock to various pastors where they see healings and the like happening. But nevertheless, what I felt and what I've seen over here is that the people are definitely sincere, but they are just not, they don't have good teachers. Hence why their desires are not met. Their desires are not manifesting for them because their teachers are bad and the teachers are ignorant. And then there's a lot of ignorance, generally speaking, in the nation. There is some level of ignorance due to, I would say, scriptural education lacks big. But then you have the public education. The public education is again for those people who can afford it. And that can also be a hindrance to some of these people because they do need the public education in order to, study, read the Bible, read books. But if you don't have the public education, then of course you're going to lack the scriptural education as well, because you won't be able to read and write. So that part of the education is an important system. Again, there is a particular level of education to a particular standard, but then again after that you have to pay, sometimes you have to pay a lot of money to get into good education. Luckily, there are good Christian schools over here that teach public education. And some of them, in fact, I'd say most of them have English curriculum. The English curriculum is better than Muslim schools. So a lot of Muslims flock to Christian schools as well, because of the education standard is better in Christian schools and Catholic schools than it is in many of the Muslim schools. So that's that going on. And that was a brief, but I also wanted to illustrate to you that not only is that this is happening here in the home where I am, but also as I go out, and if I have to visit a bank or a public place, usually there are security guards that hold scanners in their hand to check for guns and weapons in your pockets or the like. And I found that as I would go to the bank person, security guard that's standing there would just wave to me to go in. He wouldn't search me. I'd go in, I'd come out, I'd thank him, and I'll go my business of the day. I would go to a store with a family member and maybe to purchase an item. The storekeepers here, you have to haggle with them for discount. But the storekeepers themselves will say, without any haggling, I would sit there and they would themselves say that we'll give you X amount of discount without even asking. So, Baruch Hashem, Yahweh, for great blessings, honor, privilege that God has given me to be in this nation and to reach out to these people who are definitely needy, definitely suffering. They need healing in their lives. They need good teachers. So perhaps, my being here is going towards some of that's happening here. Then I'm able to give them advice. There's different people that come to me. I can give them advice about their goings-on in their life and things that they can do to better their lives. So it all helps at the end of the day to better themselves. And I think this is fantastic because, whilst I'm here, it's great to be able to advise them, help them, heal them, lift the name of God to help these people. And this is to me, this is a wonderful way to show the love of God that is present amongst the people of God, which is very important. Here, I don't really care about what denominations they belong to, what Christian sect they are in. That's really of no consequence to me. What is important to me is that they are humanity, that they want to serve God with sincerity, and that is enough for me to help them. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I have no quarrels with the Catholics, Protestants, Anglicanism or any of that. I have no qualms about it. I have no quarrels with any of them. I really have, nothing else to say about them. They do what they need to do. I do what I need to do. As a Kohen in the gate, my job is to bring the voice of God, the love of God in the midst of these people so they may be blessed and they may prosper in their lives. And talking about prosperity, I think we, would obviously, message of prosperity is, and for love of God is not just for this country, it's for every country in the world, because Israel is to be a light to the nations. And with that in mind, I wanted to bring a concept that might be foreign to some people. For instance, limitations are not placed by God. Limitations are placed by self. We allow or we restrict ourselves. When we say we can get to a certain point, that limit is defined by us. And it's the physicality, it's a physical thing. You might say that you will start from Texas and you will stop at the border of Louisiana. Well, that is a limit that you place at in your mind to yourself. Because you could continue beyond, if you started to travel and you placed a limit to stop at Louisiana, you place that limit to yourself. You don't have to, because you could travel beyond Louisiana. You could go to Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. You could go beyond that, all the way to, upstate New York, if you like, to Canada. So the point that I'm trying to convey is limits are placed by humans themselves. So when you want to succeed, the first thing you need to do is remove your limits. That is a fundamental area of success that a lot of people are struggling in, because they are still limiting themselves. Second thing, which is probably the most important that I'm going to say today, and I may not give you a full explanation for it because I want you to think about it, is that there is a primordial sound. When God created the heavens and the earth, the universes as we know them today, God used the Hebrew alphabet. We know that part. But we also know that there was, what is the alphabet? What is any alphabet? Any language is sounds. So it means that God used a sound to create. So, excuse me, I'm going to let you think about this, that what sound would have been used to make creation. And that would be something that I would want you to go investigate for yourselves, because sounds matter in creation. The reason why I say that is that as you go about doing your affirmations, because if you tell yourself in affirmations daily, what is it that you desire, you write it down as an affirmation, you're actually reprogramming your brain. You're reprogramming yourself so that your body, your entire system can align with your future. Because technically your future is your present, and your present is your future. Because time does not exist. And I want you to think about what I just said. Time does not exist. Only eternity exists. And in eternity there's no time. So again, time can be a limitation. Exactly as you would stop yourself from traveling to, you travel to the north of America and you started from Texas and you stop at Louisiana, you place a self-imposed limit. The same way, we can also impose self-imposed limits of time. So the two important things in manifesting is to remove time and to remove imposed limits. Once you do that, you will supercharge your affirmations, you will supercharge your manifestations. And of course, the ingredients that I'm giving you, I want you to think about it, and you will have much better success when you implement these ingredients in your daily routine. As I said to you last time, write a list of maybe 10 items, or less if you have less items. You can write less or you can write more than 10. And when you write those items, you're activating certain areas of your brain in which these items are recorded. But now what I want you to do on top of that is remove limits of time. The other thing that you want to do, which all of us humans have this, is logic. I want you to kill your logic, because your logic might say that there is a wall in front of me and I can't cross that wall. But you need to kill that logic, because when you're making a desire of something, you're running your imagination, you're crossing that wall. But if you are not able to cross that wall, then you will not be able to get your desire. So within your mind, you need to be able to cross that wall. That's basically where imagination lives. As you remember, when the Master Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, when he was resurrected and he came back, he was able to go through walls. He was still able to eat food physically, but he was able to go through walls. So, what does that mean for us? Is that we need to be able to run our imagination beyond our homes. Because if you can't run your imagination beyond your home, you are now confined to your house as in a prison. So your imagination needs to go beyond the walls of the house, beyond the ceiling. So your imagination needs to be able to travel. And so you need to kill your logic. So one thing that you can tell yourself is that logic and whatever truth that you believe, truth meaning truth can be altered as well. Any statement of truth can be altered through imagination. So this is also key. So when God says, coming back to Noah, when God says that Noah, he speaks about the generations of Noah, and he says that this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim, meaning that Noah had not placed any limits on himself. Noah could achieve Torah without any problems. Noah could do anything he wanted to, without any limitations. There was no limitation placed by Noah on Noah. And Noah was a righteous man, meaning he was able to achieve Torah. He was able to hit the mark. So whatever Noah wanted to manifest was easy for him. Noah walked with God. Noah walked with Elohim, meaning also he walked with the power. He walked with the Torah principles. He used the Torah principles to achieve everything he desired. He built the biggest boat ever built during his time that nobody had ever seen. That's the kind of man Noah was. So it teaches us that we can also do the same. We can literally build whatever we want to build, because remember, it talks about building something. He built something. He built the ark. You also can build whatever you desire to build. If you want to build your house, then you can build your house in your imagination and bring it into your reality. If you want to build your car, you can build your car in your imagination and bring it to your reality. And many have done that. You're not going to be the first. And you're definitely not going to be the last. People have already done it. And you can do so too, using the principles of the Torah. Because the Torah tells you that wherever your feet will go, that place can be yours. The Torah tells you that. So why not? What's stopping you from receiving that place? So do not allow time, which is an illusion, which I told you is not really real. It's an illusion that we live in. Because actually there's eternity above us. And in eternity there's no time. And God lives in eternity. So if you have God within you, guess what? You live in eternity as well. You have the same precept. You have the same power and authority. So you can call upon God. Through God, you can achieve a lot. But you've got to understand it. It's not just setting a manifestation goal. It's actually knowing that it can be yours completely without any problems. And that's where the issue comes in. is that when we place self-imposed limits and time upon us. If you had a goal of driving a particular car, you might say in an affirmation that I am driving my, let's just say, Ford F-150 truck. I am driving my Ford F-150 truck. You use the I am construct, which is for God. So you have now defined a statement that you want fulfilled in your life, because you may not be driving a Ford F-150 truck right now, but that is what you're desiring to do. So you bring it into the present construct. When you bring it into the present construct, you are now saying to your reality that I don't care about time. Time is not a limitation on me, and I don't care about self-imposed limitations. And when you do that, of course, remember logic. I said that you do not believe in logic at this point because you see the logic as dead. Because logic is just that, if you put yourself in a logic, then you limit yourself, you block yourself. So you don't want to block yourself. So you can tell yourself that you're going to kill your logic. And you can repeat that if you like. You can say something to the effect of, logic does not hinder me. Logic is not going to block me. You can use those statements in affirmations because you do not want to be limited. And you can tell yourself, I am limitless. I have infinite potentiality. I am limitless. I have infinite potentiality, or I have infinite possibilities. I am the owner of such and such car. Now imagine just these 3-4 statements which you can jot down on your notepad, and you can repeat them 3-4 times in the morning, 3-4 times in the evening. Now you think how you're breaking down the limitation or bringing those into your reality. Because you have no imposed limits. And you have no imposed boundaries. Remember I spoke about the boundary of the wall in your house? Because many people will not be able to get outside the boundary of their house walls. They're like imprisoned. But you go beyond that. You allow your spirit. Your spirit is free. Your spirit is not bound by anything. Spiritually, your body is able to travel astrally anywhere in the world, unlimited, without any plane tickets. So you need to bring yourself to that. And I think it will be interesting, because it is achievable. There is a man called Osho. And I think somewhere I read, somewhere I heard that this person Osho, he actually manifested not 1, not 2, not 3, but 95 Rolls Royces. Wow, this yogi, this spiritual guy, he manifested not 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 96 Rolls Royces. Check it out. Go check it out. Oh, this person called Osho. And he's a spiritual guy, Indian guy, I believe. And he was able to manifest 96 Rolls. He doesn't need 96 Rolls Royces. He didn't manifest 96 Rolls Royces because he was greedy about it. He wasn't illustrating greed, by the way. Or he was, hungry for 96. He would be happy for 1. But he wanted to illustrate a point. And the point he illustrated was this, that you can. If you want to, you can, and there is no limit. So maybe that will inspire you to think differently. I would say Google Osho and maybe read about him. And he is a spiritual man, and he was able to do that. Now, we are all spiritual. But are you able to actually get your spirit outside your house? Or is your spirit locked inside your house? And I think that's important. So with this, I would suggest that next time you write your affirmations with the I am construct, I am a millionaire, I am happy, I am successful. You never tell yourself, oh, I am ill, I am suffering. You don't ever do that, because whatever construct you use, that power of God, the I am power of God that's spoken about in Exodus 3:14 will apply to you, and it will manifest in your life. Whenever you do the negative, the negativity will be coming in very fast. And whenever you do the positive, it will come in very fast. My point is in you learning the concepts. Learning the fact that your logic is what's going to hold you back. So you need to kill your logic. You need to write an affirmation that says, logic is not going to hold me back. I am unlimited. Something like this, when you tell yourself over and over again, that's when your rational mind, that's when it will stop hindering you. Because right now what's going to hinder you is your rational mind. Because listen, if I said to you that a person can manifest 96 Rolls Royces, you say, get away, you're lying, it can never happen like that. What are you talking about? 96 Rolls Royces? No way. You're a liar. You can't be telling the truth. But actually it happened. This person manifested 96 Rolls Royces because he did not impose a limit. He did not have logic issues. He did not have time issues. He did not have infinite possibilities issues. Whenever you place yourself in any of those issues, you will not succeed. Any one of those issues will become a block. And I'm giving you something here that many people in this world, many of these law of attraction teachers out there, meaning to be good, they don't probably mean to be bad in any way. They're probably trying to help people. But I'm telling you that I have never heard a law of attraction teacher speak about these things that I'm just talking about today. It's always about a meditation. It could be about, say this. But actually, fundamentally, first we need to demolish the barriers that we've created for ourselves. And what are the barriers? Well, the first barrier is your logic. Your logic might say that you cannot earn over, $500 a week. Maybe that is your logic. And your logic is preventing you from earning anything higher than that. So you need to kill that logic. You need to remove that statement. Your logic might say that I cannot go beyond Louisiana if you live in Texas, like Rabbi Kefa. And your logic will stop you dead in your tracks at Louisiana. Every time you try to leave Texas, you get stopped dead in your tracks at Louisiana, because that is your belief system. That is your wall. You have created that wall, and you cannot go beyond that wall. So the logic needs to go. You might say, Simon, this is a true statement, such and such and such. And I'll say no, because anything can be bended and changed. So one of the things that I teach also is rewriting your reality, and what that might be. And you might say, what do you mean by rewriting your reality? Well, let's say that you had a fight with a spouse in the past, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And you want to rectify that relationship. Your relationship broke down, it kind of needs mending. And because of egos of humanity, the things got worse. Now how'd you go back and repair it? You might say, hang on a minute, that happened a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 weeks ago. How can I repair that? Now, it's in the past. Because as I told you, time is an illusion. When you understand time is an illusion, you will be able to repair it. Because what you will do in your imagination, and you can write it down as well, you can say that I have a wonderful relationship with my wife, so and so, whatever her name is. I have a wonderful relationship with Jane, my wife. Jane is the name of your wife, just as an example. Or you might say, I have a wonderful relationship with my wife, Helen. If Helen is the name of your wife, or whatever the name of your wife is, you attach it to there. I have a wonderful relationship with my wife, such and such. And then what you do in your imagination, you go back in time and you reverse that situation. You do not see the outcome as being a fight. What you see the outcome in that imagination of that memory that you're holding is that you had a discussion, and that discussion ended amicably, and you were both happy, and nobody fought with anybody. And you were both happy, and you were both still together, and you both agreed or disagreed with each other, but you did not have any fight. So you change the outcome. Once you change the outcome in the past, you actually will find that through short space of time, it will change in the present. Because what you are modifying is a memory in the past, and it can be modified, because remember the statement, time is an illusion. The past is an illusion. You can modify any past statement. Doesn't matter how factual it was. Doesn't matter what your logic says. So I would encourage you to use that method. If you want to repair relationships, it's a very powerful way to repair relationships. It could be a powerful way to repair relationships not only with the spouse, but maybe with your manager. If you had bad relationship with your manager, your boss, you could use the same method to repair the relationship with your boss, with your manager as well. So as much as it works with the past, as much as it works with the future. Because when you want to acquire a new house, a different house, you're actually now going into the future. But remember what I said, time is an illusion. So tell yourself that time is an illusion. There is no time. And you don't have to wait. In other words, waiting is time. And you tell yourself, I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait. Because time is an illusion. Now, even though it may take 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, remember, time is always an illusion. You got to tell yourself that time is an illusion. I can do things easily and effortlessly. And you can even tell yourself that you want your manifestation now. You can tell yourself that. I want my manifestation now. Write it down. These things that I'm telling you, don't just hear from one ear and out the other, but write these things down and repeat them with firm belief. When you repeat them with firm belief, I want my manifestation now. Logic is not going to stop me from achieving my manifestations. I have no boundaries. I am spiritually free. I can achieve anything I desire. These are the kind of statements that you need to have on your affirmation list, because these will accelerate you forward. So I would, encourage you to think about what I'm teaching you here. And you can tell yourself that. The more you tell yourself that you want something right now, I want it right now, the more you're programming, you're adjusting your mindset. And then what you need to do is have clear thinking. Your thinking needs to be very clear with a firm conviction. When you have clear thinking and firm conviction, then anything is possible. Nothing is impossible anymore. And don't just think that millionaire is hard. Because if you tell yourself becoming millionaire is hard, then you'll never get beyond that. Even becoming a billionaire is easy once you remove your limitations. You see, business opportunities will come your way. When you change your mindset, then business opportunities will start coming in your path that can change your life. And that's what happens to people. You may not have been born with a golden spoon in your mouth, like some other people have, and they are born into maybe billionaire families. It doesn't matter, because you have equal opportunity to make it once you firmly change your mind. Change your mind internally. Change your world internally with how you think. Then you will change your world outside. Whatever you believe is your world inside will become the world outside. If you believe that you are driving a new car of whatever description, if you believe that daily in your belief, in your affirmations, with full conviction, and you're imagining it, then there's nothing going to stop you from having that new car. It may appear in your reality within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, even 12 weeks. It'll come into your reality once you put that firm belief. If you believe you're living in a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house, even a 5-bedroom house, then that house will come into your reality once you put the firm conviction that you are the owner of a house. Then the house will come into your reality. If you believe in a business, that you're running a business that's generating $1 million a year, then what you're doing is you're changing your internals. Your internals is what will dictate your externals. Once you tell yourself that I have a business that generates $1 million sales or revenue a year, then so shall it become. Because then, as you're repeating that statement, as you're visualizing daily, as you're running through the meditation session, perhaps you're running the 7-phase meditation, perhaps you're doing the chakra cleaning meditation, or even if you're doing the grounding only, you're doing at least, it's very important that you do one meditation in the morning. When you wake up, allot yourself some time, 15 minutes maybe, 20 minutes, if you're busy on a busy schedule. If you have a busy schedule, you maybe only give yourself 15 minutes in the morning, and you can use that 15 minutes to maybe only do the meditation 5 minutes, 7 minutes. If you have longer time, it's great, do it longer, because that is what will fine-tune your brain. It will fine-tune your body for the rest of the day. And then you will start to attract things that you desire into your life through different opportunities. So I would suggest to you that it's very important to kill your logic. If your logic says something, remove it from your path. If something else says to you, you can't do this, tell yourself you can. And if it says that, oh, you're not going to have it for a long time, you tell it, no, I can have it right now. You can have it right now. And you need to tell yourself that. And you can tell yourself that you can have it with the power of God within you. Even you can put that in your statement, that I will have it right now with the power of God within me. I will have it right now with the power of God within me. My manifestations are occurring right now. My manifestations are occurring right now with the power of God within me. See, these are very powerful statements. These can alter your reality. So it is very important that you alter your reality. Once your reality is altered and you start to manifest the things you desire, then your life will automatically be much better. And remember to always do good. Always do good to others. Because when you do good to others, you open the doors for good to yourself. So with that, I will say Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom to you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week ahead. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Shalom Shalom.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to all of you, merciful. It's Rabbi Kefa coming in from home base to offer your responses. By the way, you just heard Hakoin's lecture. For those of you who haven't heard it, you'll hear it because it'll be attached and it will be placed on YouTube or YouTube form as well. And I think on his what's that? The Facebook as well. I don't know if you all following the news or what's going on, but I tell you, Facebook is in a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo right now. But we'll leave them to it. Because our energy, like what we're talking about, luxury class, should be on the things that we desire for ourselves, changing our internals. I was just telling the family, talking to the family, and I was just wanted to get a response on the takeaway of what you got from Hakoin's lecture. Anybody want to respond on the takeaway that they got from Hakoin's lecture? Any takeaway, maybe even just a sentence or a phrase or just a one word that what did you glean from Hakoin's lecture? And I think it's very important that we do understand these because these are the fundamentals of foundation. You know, double down on your manifestations and supercharge them. Okay, to talk about that, Eddie's. But I think it's very, very important that we do understand it because these are the founding fathers of foundation of our very being. And this is what it's all about because many folks want to come to a religion mindset. Now, let me tell you what I did get out of it. I'm going to tell you my takeaway from my Queen's lecture was to kill your logic. Logic. And I think that's very important. And I didn't listen to Hakoin's lecture. Believe me, I didn't listen to it. I just queued it up this morning on this Shabbat. You see, to luxury clients do good, have a vision mindset of what I need and want. O&D. That's a very good luxury class. Very good. A Yael woman of 10 cents. Stop over analyzing. O&D. You see that over analyzing Yael woman of 10. You know what that is? That's your logic having a field day. That's your logic eating a 7-course meal. And you know what you want to do this day? This is my takeaway. Is that you want to starve logic. You want to completely annihilate. You want to kill logic. Because logic is a destroyer and it's a stumbling block. How many of you can agree with me? Is that your logic is a stumbling block in your way. From your desires, your wants, your dreams, your successes, whatever your logic is doing it to you. And basically, you know what logic is? Logic is mind control. Now, every day, all of us are combating with our mind. It's a fight. Every day we're fighting with our minds. Can you agree with me on that? Your mind will start putting these things and start giving you scenarios, maybe even telling you a whole story in a day. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You'll go through a whole thing in your mind, and nothing, in present, and in the now, nothing has never even materialized, but the mind is always working. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You have all kind of scenarios going through. Scenarios with relationships, scenarios with money, and scenarios of whatever is going on in your life. Your mind will do that to you. This is like mind control, logic. It's trying to analyze, like you said, Yael woman of 10, trying to analyze every tidbit of your life and break it down to where it's palpable for you to ingest and take in and digest. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to, living in this life is polar opposite. True life and having a life like the Master Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, talking about, having a life that's more abundantly, is that you just have to totally annihilate logic. And believe it or not, but this Parsha talks about this as well. The Parsha of Noach, and I want to stay on that. I know if you're following along that we should be with Lecha, we should be with that Parsha, but no, we need to stay put in Noach for a minute, in Noah, because there's a lot of key things there. And before I go any further, how many of you have the book of Yasher or the book of Hanok? If you don't have these books, make sure you get them, because they fill in the blanks at this area that we're in right now. Well, let me put it this way. How many of you don't have those books? You need to get those books. These are history. Put them on your bookshelf, open them up and read them, because these fill in the blanks, especially at this section right now that we're in right now. In our history, as we read from the book of Genesis, it's filling in a lot of areas that the Torah just doesn't do. The Torah doesn't do. It's giving you a lot of background history about what's really going on behind the scenes. I'm telling you, these are some great additions that you should give. You should give out. You should have in your libraries and actually give out to others as well, so that they can get a better understanding. I was listening to Hakoin's lecture, and now he's talking about the people over there in the Pakistan region where he's at right now, is that they lack what? They truly lack knowledge. The right knowledge, right? They truly lack the right understanding and the right teaching. I was in my barber. I got my bald fade yesterday. I was in the barber shop with my barber, and I was talking to him, and he knows. He's like, man, you're a Jew, huh? You're the real Jews. And so we get to talking about that, because he said, yeah, the whole world's asleep. But he has an understanding from a Christian mindset. So every now and then I throw him a golden nugget here and there. Now we're to the point where my barber, that next time I go in there, I'm going to give him a copy of the Abrahamic-Faith Bible. He's ready for it now. He's ready. He's like, I want more knowledge and more understanding. Having conversation. Barbershop is a great place. How many of you hang out at the barbershops? Barbershop is a great place to hang out, because in the barbershop, especially the barbershops that people of color go to, you can solve all the world problems in the barbershop. all the world problems can get solved in the barbershop. A lot of different opinions in there as well, which I respect everyone's opinion. But I tell you, when you go in the barbershop at any other place, Walmart, wherever you go for your social hangouts, when you go in there with the truth, with the facts on the ground, let me put it this way, when you go in there with light, it outshines all the darkness, all the other opinions out there that are kind of in the dark. You know what I mean? Like they're really not clued up on what's really going on and what that verse really means. And, give me a word for the day. They don't even understand. They don't even have a clue. They just on the surface. While you're like layers and layers, you're digging you're digging all kind of tunnels and getting deeper and understanding. You see, because you have the light. How many of you in this room this day will say, Rabbi, I do have the light. I have the light. I am the light. Because it's true. You are. Claim it. Fame it. Because that's what you are, family. Descendants of Jacob. Family of Jacob. Descendants of Noah. Descendants of Abraham. You have the light. You have the light. So when I go in the barbershop, I have the light. Many people around me don't. And I don't say that in a braggadocious kind of way. Because I'm a humble and meek man. I may have a big mouth, but I'm humble and meek. And quiet is my best friend. I cannot just be quiet. I like to listen to people. Every now and then I'll give a response or I'll say something. And when I speak, believe me, it's thought-provoking. And it's like, oh, okay. It's challenging. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you come outside of logic. Because you're going to think so much with logic that logic can't understand it. How many of you realizing that in your internals? Oh, how many of you understand that in your logic with your internals? Is that you'll be doing your affirmations, you'll be writing down and scripting everything, and your mind will begin to play these tricks on you and begin to tell you, well, logically, how's that going to work out? Well, let's try to play a scenario to where you do get that big house. And then it's like, well, logically that can't happen because you don't live in a big house now. Because you don't have to. See, logic will go through all the negativities about how you cannot do something or be something or have something or want something or even dream something. You understand what I'm saying? That's why my takeaway with Hakoin's lecture is that you have to destroy, you have to kill logic. You have to do it. How many of you will agree with me this day? Is that, yeah, Rabbi, I have to kill logic. Because logic is my stumbling block. And logic is what's holding me back. It's not the man. It's not that person. As you point the finger at everything else around. That's not it at the end of the day. When you realize that you're eternity, you are eternal now. I've never dropped And I tell you, you want to get a good book, get the book, The Power of Now. You get that book. Because now is now. I'm rich now. I'm a millionaire now. I'm health now. I'm wealth now. I'm abundance now. I'm infinite abundance now. That puts everything in the present. And that's where we need to be. Because the present is the past and present is the future, because the present is present. Because you're now. So what do you want for yourself now? Because that's what you are now. Think about that for a minute. But you see, logic can't understand that. So when I tell you to think, then your logic comes in and it's like, wait a minute, that can't be. There's no A, B, and C equation to this. 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2. You see, because that's why you have to ditch logic. You have to ditch it. I heard this famous quote, and I'm going to start doing this, by the way. I'm going to give you, because everybody, you Christians, they say this all the time, people in religion, they say, oh, brother, can you give me a word? Has anybody ever heard that before? Somebody come to, oh, can you give me a word? Oh, I'm just waiting on a word. Anybody, put up capital W if you heard people just use that terminology. They'll say, oh, can I get a word, brother? I'm just waiting on the word. I'm waiting on the word. I'm like, waiting on the word? What do you mean? To top of that, Oliver, because Oliver's only to top of your responses, by the way. Ooh, I'm waiting on a word. Well, I'm going to start this segment every Shabbat, and I'm going to give you quotes from just quotes, because quotes are very important. Quotes are powerful. And I was telling everybody in the barbershop, I said, do you all understand that words have power? They were like, what? Yeah. I said, think about it for a minute. Think about what I just said. Words have power. They're like, wow, yeah. You see, they was in there listening to who? Biggie Smalls. What's his name? B.I.G. You remember B.I.G.? Biggie Smalls? I love it when you call me Big Papa. They were playing that in the barbershop. And I was like, wow. I was like, the notorious B.I.G. He has passed away many years ago, but yet he's still talking to you. And they were like, wow. Words have power. See, they didn't get it until I can correlate it. I can get to their level and begin to correlate with them. I said, you guys all have Bibles in your house. Jesus' words still has power. He's not on this earth anymore, but his words carry. Many people are still quoting his words today. Am I correct? They're like, oh, yeah, that's true. I said, you all have to guard yourself against what you say, how you say it, and what comes out of your mouth. Because words have power. Luxury class. Words have power to heal, and words have power to destroy. And I know you understand that. And see, that's why we have to get our words right and bring it forth in such a powerful way. Like somebody said, my takeaway is that it's amplified manifestations. How to amplify my manifestations. Because of the words that's going to come out of your mouth. They have power. When you use that word now, how many of you realize the word now is very powerful? Because right now, you can be rich, or right now, you can be poor. Now. I'm telling you, that's a powerful word. N-O-W. I did a lecture on that a while back. My wife is making me some awesome teas, man. I tell you, I love it. Tea is awesome. So the power of now. Right now, being present. In your present state. You see, but I'm going to tell you what logic will do. Logic don't want you to be now, and logic definitely don't want you to be present. You know where logic wants you to hang out? It wants you to hang out in the future or hang out in the past, believe me. And I think past is one of the best places, best places logic wants you to hang out, is put yourself in the past. So, you can think about all those bad relationships and how your relationship just went bad and it got worse and worse on top of worse. You see, so we have been killing logic with ignorantly not understanding that, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm killing logic. You see? You see? How are we killing logic? By living present. When you live present and you live in the now, you kill logic. You destroy logic. You take away its kryptonite. Because to feed knowledge, it's got to dwell in the future. Or it's got to dwell in the past. Think about it that way. How many of you have been feeding logic for a long time? Think about it. You've been one of those past dwellers or your future dwellers. Just live now. Live right now. And Hokma told me this morning, I gave it to the early birds. She was like, you know, ups and downs in life, that's a given. In life, you're going to have ups and downs. This is a given. How many of you understand that? Life is about ups and downs, ups and downs. So is my stock market. It's about ups and downs. Stock market, I love the stock market because stock market, it makes waves. The patterns in the stock market, you can any stock market, it makes waves. And I'm going to tell you something. You better, I would encourage you all to do some study on what Hakoini was telling you in his lecture about sounds. Sounds. Particular sounds. I'm noticing with my newborn, Nakshan. I'm noticing with Nakshan that particular sounds, and this is for you, luxury class, frequencies in these sounds, in these songs, in these instrumental songs, they put Nakshan to sleep. There's something to that. And Nakshan, man, 10 minutes in the rocker, oh man, he's snoring. There's something to that. Sounds, vibrations, frequencies. I'm telling you, there's all something to this. You must understand this, because I'm going to tell you something that's so very vital and maybe open up some revelation to you guys. The Son of the Most Highest, the Son of God, one of the Son of God's name is Hasatan. Can everybody agree with me? He's the Son of God to this day. I don't care what he did, what his actions were. At the end of the day, he's still a Son of God. Do you all believe that? Hasatan. Some people call him the devil, the evil one. He is a Son of God. Now, yesterday, today, and forever, he's the Son of God. I want you all to understand that. It doesn't change. You all need to understand that he's a Son of God. Okay? Now, does anybody know when the formation of this earth was done, what was the role of the Son of God, Hasatan? What was his role? Does anybody know? For those of you who are deep in your Torah studies and you're deep in creationism, do you know the role of Hasatan, the Son of God? Eddie says he was a singer. Music. Oh, there we go. Singer and music. Singer and music. Frequencies and vibration. We're getting ready to connect the dots for you, luxury class. This is some revelation stuff here. So, his job was to play music in the garden. Think about that. In charge of the music. In charge of frequency and vibration. Maybe he was playing some Tupac. I don't know. Just a joke, by the way. But he was in charge of playing music. So you wonder why music has such an effect and an effect on the world today. Frequencies and vibration. Because you know what? At the end of the day, when you play those piano notes or those whatever notes on whatever instrument, what is it? It's a vibration and it's a frequency. Am I correct? I'm telling you, this stuff is we're kicking it up a few notches, family. Do you all understand that? Have you all ever heard music and some music will put you to sleep while other music will make you depressed, and some music will just get you so hyped and so encouraging when you want to just go out and conquer the world? Some music will put you at such peace and give you such shalom, while other music will make you angry and hateful. Anybody back in the day? Am I right? Because it all deals, the 20s, yeah. It all deals with frequency and vibration at the end of the day. Frequency and vibration. Luxury Class said heavy metal made me vicious. I tell you what, and some of that country music as well. That stuff, I was like, how can y'all listen to this stuff? It make you want to go jump off a building somewhere. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is this? I mean, and then let's not go to the old rhythm and blues, man. Dum 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 dum. She left me for another man. Dum 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 dum. Took all the money in my wallet. Don't, 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 don't. I'm like, man, my goodness. Well, I guess I'm not having a new relationship, right? Don't, 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 don't. Y'all know what I mean? Don't, 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 don't. See, but I changed all that up. I changed all that. You know what I do? I go, don't, 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 don't. Don't go in the bathroom. Don't, 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 don't. Go do my meditations. Don't, 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 don't. Go look at the man in the mirror. Don't, 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 don't. You see, you can change it up. Remember, Hakeem talked about this. I know y'all with me, and I totally want y'all to feel my energy this day. Do you feel my energy? I tell you, I am positive energy. And that's what I want all of you. I want you to have that positive energy. I want you to manifest that positive energy. Wherever you go, barbershop, don't matter. When words come out of your mouth, oh, they looking at you like, wow, this brother's deep. This brother's not just no gobbledygook. When he speaks with wisdom. There's this one quote I want to get back to. This one quote from the wife of President Roosevelt. She said this: knowledge can make you money, but wisdom will give you life. Ooh, wee! Did y'all get that one? I may be paraphrasing it a little bit, because I like to read quotes, Mishpachah, of people, real people, especially people that are successful. See, knowledge will get you money. You make a lot of money with knowledge, right? But wisdom will give you life. Do you all get that one, Mishpachah? You may want to marinate on this one all week long, and so be it. But that's a real statement, right? You see, because, listen, in my sphere, my circle of influence, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money. They have a lot of knowledge, right? But their lives, they want to give up on life. How many of you know people like that? They already want to give up on life. But they have so much knowledge. So you're thinking, well, knowledge is the all in all. Well, you realize that it's not the all in all. Apostle Truth Seeker, Shabbat Shalom to you. And all of us know this as well when we look at our history. We can go back to the garden and realize when our ancestors took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What's the name of that tree again? Can anybody tell me the name of that tree? Why? It's because the pursuit, the imagination of having the knowledge of God. Oh, I want to think like God. I want to have the knowledge of God. How do I get a one-upper on how to live like God? That tree of life, right? Tree of life. You see? Luxury Class says the adversary was and is a master musician. Yeah, he was, and Luxury Class, memo to you, still is. Okay? You must understand that. So at the end of the day, we got to dissect music. What's behind music? Can anybody tell me? Kind of already gave y'all the answer, but what's behind music? Let's dissect music. I want you all to understand this day. Music is not evil. I want you all to understand. Do you all understand? Music is not evil. You all understand that? Please understand that. But what's behind the music? Okay? This is what we must understand. Okay, Eddie says words and power is behind the music. Okay, let's go even deeper than that. What's behind that? What's behind the words and the power and the lyrics? What's behind the music? Anybody tell me? There you go, Oliver. It's the frequencies, the vibrations. You see, this is the root. You see, many people don't understand that. Oh, well, Rabbi, I really like that beat to that song. Boom, 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 boom. It's frequency and vibration. I'm a jazz man myself. I love jazz. I love classical music. Love jazz. Love classical music. And I notice, yeah, playing. There you go, Luxury Class, in a fancy dining place playing romantic jazz. Yeah, puts people in a good mood, makes them want to eat, makes them want to drink more. Baruch Hashem. I'm thinking Noah, he had his favorite romance. Maybe I'm thinking Noah, when he went to his little drinking spell. Many drinking spells. I think Noah just was a drinker. He just loved to drink. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with it. Drinking your house, nothing wrong with it. I'm thinking Luxury Class, maybe he had on some Barry White. Barry White, I can hear him. Yeah, baby. Yeah, drinking his fine, with his wife that's fine like red wine in the sunshine, playing his Barry White. Let's get it on, or just whatever. But I see that. So music in itself, you got to realize this is not evil. Yet logic will tell you music is evil. Stay away from it. It's of Satan. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. You see. But you're missing it. You see, because let's face it, when we look at the whole world, majority of people, as we are students of, and we study the human nature. How many of you can say, I'm a student and I study human nature? I'm a student of human nature. I study it. I study the human nature. You must understand that, is that a majority of people this day, they live in a life that's being controlled by their logic. Very few people have destroyed and killed logic. Very few people have, Mishpah. You are part of the few. And typical of our history, right? Israel has always been few. Am I correct? Israel has never been in a position of the many. I want you all to understand that. That defies logic. You know what I mean? That in itself defies logic. Because everybody, look at throughout all of our history. Just do a quick imagination and go through like Back to the Future, boom, 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 boom. And you go back to the past and you look at all of our history. Look at the story of David and Goliath. Does that not defy logic? And everybody around him is like, how the heck this little puny dude gonna be? Oh, we done in for sure. Do you see what I mean? Our livelihood as a family is all about defying logic. We destroy logic. Logic is non-existent. Are you all with me, Mishpah? Please be with me this day. I want you all to be right with me. Because we're in this together, whether you want to be or not. You consider yourself a family member, then participation is required. We move as a unit. Small family, but we move as a unit. This is why I embrace small. I embrace small numbers, because in the small we are great. That defies logic. Matter of fact, what I just said probably don't make any sense to most people. Because look at Judaism. What do they tell you this day? You've seen some debates. What do they say? Well, we have to go with what the consensus says. The bigger the numbers in favor of this, then this is what we'll go with. Isn't that the mentality of Judaism today? Well, let's take a consensus. What does the majority say? And then the majority will rule. Well, I'll tell you this day, can the majority be wrong? Can the majority get it wrong? Just because you have more numbers doesn't mean that you're right. Not in God's sight. Not in our understanding the way we think. So to be able to destroy logic, we must move, like you say, luxury class, at a different frequency, at a different vibration. We don't beat and we don't tap to the rhythm of logic. We tap to the rhythm of self, of subconscious. Isn't that beautiful? Simha is saying subliminal suggestions to our physical sees may mean to guard the portals of the soul. Guard our eyes, our ears, our touch, our smell, our hear. Is this right? Stay positive in every time to overcome logic. Yeah, you're sort of right, in my opinion. I love your response. I love your thought process. I love your opinion, Simha. But remember what HaKohen told us in his lecture. You have the ability to bend. How many of you understand? Torah bends, it doesn't break. You too have the ability to bend. You can bend your eyes, your ears, your touch. You can bend any situation in a positive, in your favor. Whatever you're going through right now. Maybe some of you in the valley right now listening via YouTube. You say, Rabbi, I'm not on top of the mountain, I'm in the valley. You have the ability to bend your valley into a mountain. So, whatever situation, wherever you are, whatever experience, whatever quote-unquote so-called problem you have, you can bend it. You're a bender. Wow. Put that in your affirmations. I am a bender. I am a logic killer. Logic does not exist in my world. Ooh-wee. This is good stuff. Say that every day. Say it in your car. Say it in your sleep. Because you are a bender. You have the ability to change situations. I'm going to look at something today. We're going to look at it in the Parsha. And it came to me from the Chokmah. I tell you, beautiful. Beautiful setup. Of how, as humanity as we see it. Oh, no, Sean, he just smiles in his sleep. I love to see that. Smiles in his sleep. That's beautiful. Playing with the angels. I'm pretty sure they're singing him some good music. Playing him some good music as well. So, this is what we must understand. We're going to see something today that's going to really, just affirm, like Simha's talking about here, our family and our rich heritage and what we stand for. Because it's not logical. You know my barber? I sat down in the chair. You know what he said? He began to quote me from Revelation. He was like, yeah, those that say they are but are not. I was like, oh, there he goes again. And those that are of the synagogue of Satan. I was like, oh my goodness. But you see, my barber, he's like this zealot. He's a religious zealot. So he'll take verses. I don't know, a lot of you have been there as well. I was there one time. And we'll just quote them off the cuff and not really know what they mean. How many of you know what I'm talking about? So in ignorance, he's just he's a zealot. So he's calling these people, they of the synagogue of Satan. Hey, slow down. Stop. I stopped. So I had to bring him to a place with my words, to a place of being non-judgmental, to a place of neutral. And all of you going to run into these kind of people. I know you are. In your travels and your journeys. The people, they're very zealous and religious, and they love God. And they truly love God. They love God. They love God. But they like overzealous. So you got to bring them to the point of neutrality. Put them in neutral, right? You got to, hey, it's not my place to judge. I don't put myself in a judgment seat. Because if I judge, then I'm more prone to be judged. Do you believe in karma? So I don't ever want to put my place in a position of a judgment seat. I'm going to stay humble and meek. Like Moses, like my forefathers. You start saying stuff like that, and then that'll neutralize them. What's the best way to put out a fire? There's many different ways. Can anybody give me? You might want to Google it real quick if you don't know, because this is good information for your homeowners. What's the best way to put out a fire? Can anybody tell me? What's the best way to put out a fire? Anybody want to take a shot at that? Best way to put out a fire. Speak to the fire, throw water on it. Abrahu, you're awesome if you can speak to a fire and it'll extinguish it. You're like totally awesome. You're like awesome. I'm telling you, I want to eat your cereal, Abrahu. That's awesome. You can do that. I need some of that. Best way to put out a fire. Eddie says throw water on it. Any other takers? How can you? What if you don't have water around? What can you do to put a fire out? Extinguish a fire. What's the best way? What does a fire need to grow? For those of you who live in California, you know, remove the fuel, air. Yeah, you take the air out of it, Abrahu. Take the air out of it. So they'll tell you, you can throw a blanket on it. Do you know baking soda? Baking soda, the mainstay baking soda I use to brush my teeth. You gotta put out a fire. Sodium bicarbonate is called. So there's many different ways to put out a fire. But the thing about it is, I had to take the air out of my barber. I said, take the air. He's coming with too much hot air. He's coming with too much fire. When he needs to be more like, Bruce Lee said, you need to be more like water. See, we need to be more maneuverable like water. You know what I told my barber? I said, you know what, next time I come, I'm going to bring you a copy of a Hebrew Bible. He said, oh, I'm very excited. I'd love to have it. Because I always want to learn. I was like, this will really help you out. But I also told him this. I said, you must understand, God put us into the world to be a light to the nations. How are you going to be a light to the nations condemning everybody and judging everybody, telling them they're going to hell or they of Satan, this, that? And I can say that because I used to be there. How many used to be right there with me? Oh, y'all going to hell. You of Satan. I used to do that because I was in ignorance. I didn't know any better. And I was a zealot. Oh, you're going to hell. Unless you read this tract and get saved, you're going to hell, brother. I was like, what the hell? I just looked at me like, what the hell this man talking about? Overzealous. I used to be there. I guess I was the only one. But I used to be there. So not only I can sympathize with my boss, but I can empathize with him. Hey, tone it down. Pump the brakes. No. Don't be judgmental. The Bible also says, judge not lest you want to be judged. It's like, oh, yeah, you know you're right. I said, you're supposed to be a light to the nations. The Master Jesus of Nazareth said, don't take your light and put it in the closet. So when people invite you, because he started talking about, my family member telling me to go to Christmas. I tell them I don't go to the white devil's holiday. I'm like, hey, stop. Stop doing that. You need to go to them. You're supposed to be a light to the nation. Don't extinguish a light. Go there and be a true representative and an ambassador for Jesus. Don't run away. Don't go hide. And please don't condemn them for what they do. That's not your place. Jesus told us to love all. Be good to all. Treat somebody like you want to be treated. You see, you got to neutralize the situation. How many of you with me? You understand what I'm saying? It needs to be, this is the kind of energy, vibration you need to bring into the scenario, the situation. It's all about energy and vibration. I am positive energy. I say that in my affirmations. I script that, and it's real. I have become that. You all understand what I'm saying? How many of you are with me this morning? How many of you now are woke? Woke. W-O-K-E. How many of you woke this morning? You with me? Baruch Hashem. Stop your responses, by the way. Now, I'm gonna initialize a segment, and I'm gonna call this segment "Give Me a Word" segment. Today, I'm gonna read you these quotes, and then I'll tell you who they're from, or maybe even some of you may guess who they're from. But more importantly, I want you to pay attention to the quotes that I read. Pay attention because they're powerful about real life people that have a name. Okay, so I'm here goes one. Listen, have ears to hear. Throughout life, people will make you mad, disrespect you, and treat you bad. Let God deal with the things they do, because hate in your heart will consume you too. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, isn't it? Because that's real. Especially Israel, family in the nations, sojourners. Like I told my barber, I said, hey, you're a sojourner. You're a stranger in this land. Everything they do should be strange to. That's already a given. That should already be priced in, right? You're a stranger. Did you all get that quote? How many of you want me to read that quote again? How many? Put up a cue if you want me to read it again. It's a beautiful quote. Beautiful words. Remember, words have power. They have power to them. Okay, nobody wants me to read that one again. Here's the next one. Listen to this one. The first step you have to say, listen to this. The first step you have to say is that you can. The first step that you have to say is that you can. You see, can puts you in the now. Can puts you present. Can is positive energy. But what is can't? Anybody tell me what can't? Oh, I can't do this. I ain't gonna. The first step. What's the first step you have to believe? Shane Yah. First step you have to believe is that you can. And you will. And it will be done. And so shall it be. Baruch Hashem. Come Shiloh or Sheol. Don't let logic say you can't. Don't let logic throw up all kind of reasons why it's not going to happen, because you already know it's happening now. It is happening. You see where we're going with this? So this person says the first step you have to say is that you can. You have to say you can. Reminds me of the little engine. The little engine that could. Remember that little story? Anybody who ever read that story? The little engine that could. Everybody else is saying, you can't go up that mountain. Well, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And he did, didn't he? You see? So what's the first step? It's powerful stuff. Powerful words, Mishpachah. Know that you can. The first step is that you can. You can. You can be successful. You can be a billionaire. You can be a millionaire. You can have that relationship. You can have children. You can have a son. You can have that job. You can have that car. You can have that house. You see where we're going? And then we all going to go to Cannes together. Baruch Hashem. How many of you want to go to Cannes with me? Let's take a trip to Cannes. That's in France, by the way, right, Oliver? Isn't that your neck of the woods over there? Vive la France. We can all go to Cannes. And we all go spend time with Oliver because we can. You can travel. You see? Got L110 says acceptance and acknowledgement. You see, this can is a destroyer of logic. Because what is the first thing logic going to do? Logic is going to throw you the top 10 ways that it cannot happen. You understand what I mean? So by default, you've already been family of Jacob. You've already been destroying logic. You just didn't. Now we put a name on it. You see? You're logic destroyers. You've killed logic. You have annihilated logic. Logic does not exist in your world because you can. I'll read that one more time. The first step is you have to say that you can. How many of you are saying that this day? Listening via YouTube, listening live. I can. I can be successful. I can have that wonderful relationship. I can. I can. Yael says, I am. Yes, I am. There you go. I can. Total paradigm shift from mind control. Because that's logic. It's just basically mind control. If you want to put one of the definitions that you can give, in my opinion, of logic is just mind control. How many of you at one time or another was in mind control? Believe it or not, ignorance is just mind control. That's all it is. That's another definition of mind control. It's ignorance. You just didn't know. Because your mind don't want to let you know. Your mind want to tell you no. When this particular person here is saying the first step is that you just have to say that I can. Here's the last one from this person here. Let your smile change the world. Don't let the world change your smile. Wow. How many of you are smilers in this room? How many of you listening via YouTube right now, you're a smiler? You say, Rabbi, I'm a smiler. I could be going through hell and I'm smiling. I could be in that valley and I'm smiling. I can be on top of the mountaintop and I'm always smiling. I go to sleep smiling. I wake up smiling. That's what it's about. Do you know, medically, let's go medical on you, that it takes more muscles in the body to frown than it does to smile. Ooh-wee. So we've been built as human beings to smile because it takes less work. Smilers, put up a capital S if that's you. All you smilers. Claim it. You see. Now, these 3 quotes. You all want to know who said these 3 quotes? All these 3 quotes came from one of my favorite actors, Will Smith. He said these quotes. Will Smith. These are quotes from Will Smith. Now, I'm going to go to my next group of quotes that I'm going to read from another real life person. Human being that walked on this earth at one time or another. Words have power, Mishpachah. Successful people. How many of you will agree with me that Will Smith is a very successful person? My wife loves Will Smith movies. She loves the Men in Black movies. She's into the AI stuff. She likes that. She likes them aliens and all that. She likes that. She likes the Will Smith movie. Now I'm turning her on to the ones that Will Smith's sons. She sees in the actor, the ones. What's that movie where Will Smith and his son did together? She's watching that one now. She likes that one a lot too. But Will Smith is a successful person. You see, here's another thing you must understand. Energy, frequency, vibration, it has a tendency to attract certain people around them. You see? I Am a Robot. Oh, was that the name of the movie? I can't remember. I don't know. What's the one that he was having a difficult time getting a job, and he had his son, he was taking a job. He had this invention or something. Smart. I think they were kind of like homeless or something. Will Smith and his son. I can't remember. Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness. There it goes, Eddie. There you go. Successful people. If you want to be successful, how many of you want to be successful at something? I would encourage you to begin to hang around the people that already have what you want. Begin to understand and read books on people who already have you. That's Law of Attraction 101. Who do you listen to? You listen to somebody that already has what you want. And then you just replicate it. Right now, I'm telling you what I'm reading right now. I'm reading 2 books. One I'm waiting to come in. I'm going to order it after the Shabbat. It's called The War of Art. Check that. Not The Art of War, because I had that book already. But The War of Art. And then this book I have right here is called The Harder You Work, The Luckier You Get. And this is by Joe Ricketts. Anybody know who Joe Ricketts is? Well, let me tell you who Joe Ricketts is, because I'm a stock market man. Joe Ricketts is the founder of TD Ameritrade. Anybody seen a TD Ameritrade commercial lately? I love those commercials. Anybody? I guess because I watch business news all the time, but I think it's on other channels as well. Anybody seen a TD Ameritrade commercial? Put up a TD if you have, besides myself. Anybody else? Well, anyway, he's the founder of TD Ameritrade, which is a brokerage company. You can open up an account and begin to make millions of dollars buying and selling stocks and bonds, forex trading, all that. TD Ameritrade. So I'm reading this book. And you know what? Joe Ricketts, he started out, guess what? He started out as a janitor. He's a janitor, cleaning toilets. It's not where you start. It's how you finish. Because you know what Joe Ricketts said? I can. The first step, like Will Smith said, is to tell yourself that you can. You don't have to, hey, listen, you don't have to tell nobody else you can. You don't have to tell your wife, your husband you can. You don't have to tell your mama, your daddy that you can. The person you need to tell you can to is yourself. You need to tell yourself that you can. You tell yourself that you can, then you can. But a lot of us is there telling ourselves that we can't. And then guess what? We can't, we won't, we will not, never do. All right, here's the next group. Keep it going. How many of you are enjoying this? This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. This is the basics, the fundamentals, the foundation of having an abundance of a life. Here we go. Don't count the days, make the days count. Ooh-wee. Isn't that good stuff? Don't count the days, make the days count. How many of you at one time were day counters? Oh, here goes another day going by. Here's another day going by. Another day. Insider information. Our heritage, our way of life, the God that we serve, we're all about counting days. I want you to go back and look at it in our history and in our books. Days. Not years. I want you to understand that. But days. Days are important to you, family of Jacob. You must see the relevance and the importance of days. Don't count the days. Make the days count. Good stuff, isn't it, Mishpahah? Here's the next one. No, if I say that one, that'll probably give it away. I'll say that one for last. Here's the next one. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. How many of you can agree with that? You must be risk takers. You see, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you about risk. You know what risk does? Risk kills logic. Because logic will tell you don't risk anything. How many of you, logic has told you that? In your brain control, they say, oh no, I must be conservative. Oh, I must not risk it. Oh, that's too risky. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, I'm going to run away from danger. If you're not willing to take risks, he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. How many of you are risky? How many of you say risk on this day? Anybody in this room? Say, Rabbi, I say that. Risk on. Risk on. How many of you say that? It's okay, Nashon. How many of you say risk on? Say it. Claim it. The risk must be turned on. Turn the risk on. Some of you have the risk button off. Abraham says, higher the risk, the higher the reward. Turn your risk on. Some of you have the risk button turned off. And you wonder why you're not successful. Because you're not willing to take the risk. You're not willing to step outside of what logic is telling you that you have to do. Logic don't run you. Tell yourself that. Just like Rabbi Kefa said, logic, you don't run me. You dead to me. When you look at the man in the mirror, you say that. Woman in the mirror, you say that. Logic, you dead to me. I'm run by my subconscious. I'm run by my desires of what I want. And I have it now. Baruch Hashem. And don't put no time on it. I've been petitioning for a son for a very long time. But I didn't put no time on it. Now I have a son. Baruch Hashem. A beautiful son. Handsome, gorgeous, smart, wise, courageous, strong, healthy. Baruch Hashem. I didn't put no time on it. But I have him now. I wanted a wife. But I have him now. I have her now. I wanted a family. I have it now. You see? It's beautiful. Here's another one for you. And we're going to get to this one in a minute in our books. A man who has no imagination has no wings. A man, or woman for that matter, in all respect to our beautiful women. A man who has no imagination has no wings. Listen to that one for a minute. Let it sink in. Marinate on it all week if you have to. A man with no imagination has no wings. How many of you in this room this day want to fly? Say, Rabbi, I want to fly. How many of you say, I believe I can fly? How many of you in this room want to fly? Say it. Claim it. Say, Rabbi, you see, you got to say it. Words have power. Say, I want to fly. I want to fly to points on high. Our books tell us that we're on wings of eagles. What does that mean? If an eagle could fly, then I better be flying. Flying high. Come on now. Let's get real, family. If you're coming in for some Bible verses, you're at the wrong place. But you want to come in here and learn how to live and how to live a life more abundantly, life of success in every area of your life, then you're in the right place. A man who has no imagination has no wings. Listen to this one. Here's another one. It isn't the mountain ahead to climb that wears you out. It's the pebble in your shoe. Woo-wee! It isn't the mountain ahead to climb that wears you out. It is the pebble in your shoe. Wow. That's internalizing the whole thing. You got to You see, too many times we pass the blame on the mountain. Pass the buck. Point the finger, oh, it's because that mountain's so big I can't get through it. No, it's the pebble in your shoe. It's you taking control and killing logic. All the negative energy that's preventing you from being successful, that's within you. That's what's holding you back. It's not the mountain. The mountain is just a mountain. It's just a mountain. But it's that pebble in your shoe. It's internal. Look within yourself. Here's one of the greatest quotes that you'll probably ever hear in your life. And I'm pretty sure after I say this quote, I want everybody to, if you know the name of this person, to just go ahead and just type it in. Keyboard warriors. Just type it in. Here, listen to this one. This one's beautiful. I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. Wow. I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. To for your responses, by the way. All these last quotes that I just read, these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quotes that I just read came from Muhammad Ali. But listen to what he says here. Words have power, Mishpah. I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. You see? Do you not think Muhammad Ali TKO'd logic? He knocked logic out, didn't he? Before he knew he was the greatest. He was the greatest. Do you get it, Mishpah? Doesn't this tie into exactly what we're talking about? Words have power. I am the greatest. I am successful. Hey, and what is he using? The very affirmations. I am. He is connected not to his logic, but to his subconscious. Correct, Mishpah? Do you see not the I am the greatest? What is that, the I am? His subconscious. And I pray tell, can we not say that Muhammad Ali was very successful? To say the least, right? That's an understatement, correct? So here's the question. What's the difference between you and Muhammad Ali? And I'd like some response on this. Can anybody tell me what's the difference between you and Muhammad Ali? And I'll give you my answer if you want it. How many of you want my answer? What's the difference between you and Muhammad Ali? You and Will Smith. What's the difference? What would you say in your opinion is the difference? He's a male, I'm a female. Hey, it's all right. That's good. That's a good difference. That's a good difference. What's the difference? Nothing. Y'all a woman of 10 says, what's the difference? Here's my answer. We'll text it in to you guys as well. Put it in capital letters. Y'all see that? When you listen via MP3, YouTube, words. That's the difference. Words. Words. And your belief on these words. These two successful men, they believe they live by their words. Not only that, see, belief takes another step. The maturation, the maturity of belief is what? Action. It's to where those words that you say are put into action, to where it becomes a very part of your being, your subconscious. That's why I say I am positive energy. And believe it or not, remember we talked about how you can bend your reality? How many of you are living in reality this day? How many for you today, life is really real? It's real now. It's real in the present right now. You see, you can bend your reality by your words. You can bend your reality. You have the ability to bend your reality. However you want to bend it. Up, down, sideways. You have the ability. It's all about your words. Can, and will be in cans. Baruch Hashem. You see? So you have to believe your words, and then that belief is translated and transitions into an action. Baruch Hashem. Now we segue right on into Noah. Because that's where we go. That's where I want to put my hat as well. If my teacher put his hat there, then I'm going to put my hat in Newark as well. Because there's some things that we can learn here as well that I really want to open up. I really want us to be able to see that are very, very important. I am successful. I am wealth. I am riches. I am abundance. I am enough. I've always been enough. I will always be enough. Money and I have a friendship, and our friendship will last forever. Do you see how I'm talking? I say this every day, wrote. Wrote. You see how fast I spit that out? Because it's real to me. I live that. That's reality. Our reality. So pray tell, what do you think is going to attract it? What do you think I'm going to attract? My goodness. Nothing but goodness coming my way. Now, is life filled with up and downs? Absolutely. But does that change my subconscious being? No, it doesn't. I don't care if I'm in the valley. I don't care if I'm in hell. I'm still saying the same thing as I walk right on through. You understand what I'm saying? Because my life is not dictated by events and circumstances and experiences. These things only enhance my true life, my true being. Comprende? Do you all understand that? See, I'm not pulled to and fro by what happens tomorrow, because what happens tomorrow is now. What happened yesterday, because what happens yesterday is now. You understand? When you can begin to live that way, oh my goodness, you're truly free, and you're free indeed. You're free. Not many people can experience this freedom. Not many people know this freedom. Not many people can even taste this freedom, but it is attainable. Well, Rabbi, how do you do that? You just begin to change your words. Just begin to speak these words. And then guess what? Before you know it, you'll start believing those words that you speak. Too many times, YouTube listeners, we've been feeding ourselves the wrong words, negative words. So guess what we believe? Negativity. Am I correct? This is just real stuff. This is reality slapping you in the face. Now, whether you're going to slap back, it's up to you. Or whether you're going to allow logic to continue to beat you up instead of facing reality. And reality is giving you that slap like that. It's almost like that to snap you out of this, this facade, out of fantasy land, and to bring you right back into what's now and what's real today. And if I don't like what's real, how many of you in this room right now will say, Rabbi, I don't like my today. I don't like my now. Anybody? You say, Rabbi, I'm not happy with my now. And I all want you to be happy. My desire is that all of you be full of joy, love, peace, happiness, excitement, euphoria, whole and complete. Baruch Hashem. That's default setting for Jacob's family. You just look at Jacob's family as a whole. Come on, man. Let's look at Jacob's family in our history. Did Jacob's family not go through ups and downs? Come on, man. But you see, the key in our history, our rich history that we do have, rich history that everybody tries to adopt, by the way, is that the consistency factor needs to be there. Don't let the circumstance dictate your I am, your subconscious. You still be yourself, so what? Mishpachah, do you realize how powerful you are? You and I, we're powerful. Positive energy luxury class that can attract and draw and manifest whatever we desire for ourselves if we only say that we can. I'm going to look up this Rolls Royce guy, dude. This is like awesome. And I'm pretty sure he didn't do it, for the fact of just, a glutton for Rolls Royces, but to prove a point. That you can have whatever you desire. But the minute that I say that, guess what? Logic comes in and says, man, this rabbi is quacky, talking this foolishness, talking this mumbo-jumbo. Let me tell you this. You can have whatever you desire and more. Woo-wee! Rabbi Kefa done kicked it up a few notches because it's real. You can. It's attainable. It's within your grasp. Oh, listen. I gave this word to this woman. I think she's a Christian. Whatever. She's my patience teacher. She's a professional. She's a teacher. Got a lot of knowledge. Remember what did I say about knowledge for you? Let's see who's listening. What quote did I say? What quote did I give about knowledge? What is knowledge good for? Anybody remember? Text it in, please, if you remember. What is knowledge? I want to see who's actually paying attention. What is knowledge good for? L110 says wealth. Anybody else says money. Okay. Anybody? What is knowledge good for? Any other takers? Oliver says money. Eddie says money. Yeah, knowledge is good for success. It's good for money. Good for making you many money, much success. But wisdom will give you life. So, if I present to you 2 entrees. First entree is the entree, 7-course meal of knowledge. And the second entree is the entree of wisdom in all its glory. Which one would you pick? Think about it for a minute. Torah says both. Oh, and you can, for disclosure, you can only pick one. For Atara's already answer. That's funny. I like that, Atara. I like that. That's good stuff. But if you could only select one, which one would you pick? Yeah, El says wisdom. Wisdom. Wisdom every day of the week. Baruch Hashem. Every time. Wisdom. True life includes success and wealth. Yeah, indeed. So when you get this, when you have wisdom, guess what you have? You have money. You have power. You have desire. You have a relationship. You have everything. Right? Baruch Hashem. Wisdom above all, says Simcha. Well said. Wisdom above all. So these are things that we must examine. So we, as the light to the nations, put up a capital L. If you say, Rabbi, I'm a light to the nations. You say, that's me. As a light to the nations, we need to be equipped more than anybody with these tools to be able to help others. We need it. To die for your responses, by the way. We need this equipment. I need this equipment. I can speak for myself. I need this equipment so that I can go out and be a light. You see, but everybody will tell you. They'll quote you the verse, oh, I'm a light to the nations. But what does that mean? Let's get to the ground roots of light. Now we're there. To be wise enough to understand that everything can. It starts within yourself, your subconscious. It starts with you totally annihilating. What a great lecture Cohen did. Annihilating logic. Because logic will fail you every time. Coming out of that mind control. Saying that you can. When everybody around you saying that you can't and you never will be. And you never should be. And you never could be. Because you're going to get that. But so what? Verse comes to mind to me these past 6 days of labor. People are going to do all manner of things and try to hurt you and do all these things. But be of good cheer. Because I have overcome the world. So if the Master Yeshua has overcome the world, and he told me that there's going to be people that don't like me, try to come against me, try to do all manner of evil against me, but be of good cheer. Because then I too have overcome the world. I'm a world overcomer. You too have overcome the world. You're a world overcomer. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get my underoos in a wad. over what somebody says or accuses me of, or you know, just a total jealousy and haterade and all that other stuff. So what? I'll leave you to it. I'm too busy on the other side. Peace, love, joy, happiness. That's my default settings, merciful. That's default settings for me. Doesn't matter. Okay? Now let's get into the Torah now for a minute, for name's sake. Now, we read this here, we look at this here. Pharaoh, lay down. We look at this here in Genesis chapter 1. I want to read this. Genesis chapter 8, verse 1. And Elohim remembered. Listen to this. And Elohim remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And Elohim made a wind pass over the earth, and the Mayim subsided. Now, it says that in Genesis chapter 8, verse 1, that Elohim remembered Noah. Now, if you have the Abrahamic-Faith Bible, then you have this the best Bible that's out there. And so you have this great commentary that comes along and says that word remember doesn't just mean, oh, yeah, I remembered you from, oh, I seen you at the mall yesterday, so I remembered you. That word there with the commentary says that word in Elohim remembered, you can translate there remembered with what? And Elohim favored Noah. How do you get favored by God? You want to know how Noah got favored by God? Because Noah, above all people, as we're talking about extinguishing and destroying and totally killing logic, let's look at Noah for a minute. This is something that we must examine. We must look at Noah. Now, if anybody in their right mind had a right to have logic take over, Noah did, right? He was told to build a boat when nobody ever built a boat before. Don't you think logic was dealing with Noah? He's like, man, what the hell are you doing? Why are you making this thing? We don't need this. It had never rained before, Mishpah. Think about this for a minute. So, do you not think that Noah totally annihilated logic from his very being so that he can function and that he can be a servant to God? Thus a servant to all humanity, plants and animals included. Because he destroyed logic. Now, think about it for a minute. Put your thinking caps on. You told to build this big old gigantic boat. Yet it had never rained before. But you're told to build this. Do you not think logic will come into you and give you a million reasons why you don't need to do this? And excuse after excuse after excuse. So why was Noah favored? Because he extinguished and he totally killed logic. Totally destroyed it. Now, let's continue reading on because I think this is important. Genesis chapter 8, verse 2. And the fountains of the deep and the windows of Shemayim were also stopped. And the rain from the Shemayim was restrained. And the Mayim receded continually from the earth. And at the end of write this down or take a mental note. And at the end of 150 days, the Mayim decreased. And the ark rested on the seventh month. Of the seventh day of the month, besides the mountain of Ararat. Now, we're going to jump back. We're going to go back to the past for a minute. Because I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 6, starting at verse 9. And this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Look at verse 11. This is key of chapter 6. The earth also was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. Now look at verse 12 too. It's instruction. So Elohim looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted their way. Listen to this. For all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. I'm going to stop right there. No. Let's go on to verse 13. Because I think this. Let's go on to verse 13. I keep reading. And Elohim said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. For the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. I'm going to stop right there at verse 14. Now, do you all see the scenario? We're going to lay the story. You heard the story many times. But what I want to clue in on, I want you all to clue in on what Elohim said here in Genesis chapter 6, verse 13. Pay very close attention, and I'm going to need your assistance. I want you to tell me, who is this referring to? And Elohim said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. For the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Who is the them? Who is the them, Torah scholars? Who is the them there that Elohim is talking about? Who is the them? You might tell me. You may want to look at it. Look at it real close. Because a lot of times we read over things, like I do, and then sometimes you just see him Hokmashi begins to open up things to us. Yeah, to you too, Nachshon. You see? Do you all see that? Genesis chapter 6, verse 13. For the earth is filled with violence through them. Who is the them? Yael 1:10 said the Nephilim. Who? Any other takers? Who's the them? What's this them factor on the earth? Think about this for a minute. This is so beautiful. I saw this, I was like, wow, man. The other stuck in the world. Who's the them? So it seems like when you read this, right, it's like something was introduced into the earth that like corrupted the earth, correct? It's like some other factor came in. You see? And what I'm trying to get at is some kind of outside influence that came in. You see? Think about this for a minute. That was not originally there, but came in and gave positive energy to the situation. Negative energy to the situation. A situation that originally started out positive, but was influenced by outside influences. Do you see this? I want you all to see this. This is beautiful stuff. So Elohim, there you go. It's the fallen ones, the Nephilim, right? They came in, and do you see what they did? So listen. Now let's look at our lives today. Do you not see the same thing? Sometimes in our life we're influenced by outside influence. Not putting out any excuses out there. But the majority of the time we're influenced by outside influences that affect us and cause us to take wrong actions. Do you not see that? I want you all to see that. And remember we talked about the Torah. Elohim, he's so flexible. He bends but he don't break. There's always a way out of your situation. Whatever you may be having or dealing with. There's always a way. Because you bend, you don't break. You bend, you can bend. You can bend the scenario. Do you see? Did not Elohim bend the scenario? He didn't totally annihilate and do everybody off. Thus, Noah and his family were rescued, saved. Isn't this beautiful? You too can rescue and save your situation. You just got to be able to bend. Bend a little bit. Yeah, it may be violent. Yeah, it may be destructive. But you got to bend a little bit. You got to be able to bend. Flexibility. Because a lot of times the problem's going to come in from outside influences. And then guess what? They do influence you. That logic, you can't do it. You can't do it. You won't do it. And it's not going to get done. When you're saying, no, I can't do it, but no, I can't, and then it's a battle, and guess what? You lose the battle before you know it. You're saying, oh, I can't do that. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to have any money. I'm just going to live my life just in this situation that I'm in now. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to give up. You see where we're going? You see how this can happen? And before you know it, you done corrupted yourself because you chose corruption. And thus, the offspring of corruption, negativity, negative actions. You wouldn't be considered righteous, like we heard about Noah, right? We hear in our books, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. And Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generations, couldn't be blamed, because he wouldn't shame himself like all the rest of the other peoples by the outside influences. I'm telling you this day, I read this to say this: don't be influenced by the outside influences out there. You can call them the giants, the Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, that's influencing you. You see that giant and you get terrified, and you succumb to the whims and the desires. Do you not see this, Mishpah? I want you all to see this. And it's time for you to build your boat. Get in your boat and sail away. Sail away from that drama. Sail away from the bad experience. That may be what needs to happen. You see? Baruch Hashem. And that's the right thing to do. Always remove yourself from the situation. If it's negative, tearing you down, remove yourself from it. I told you all to concentrate on some numbers for a minute. Remember we read up in Genesis chapter 8, verse 3. And the Mayim receded continually on the earth. Now this is post. Everybody loading up. Everybody's on the boat. Noah did everything just like God told him to do because he had killed logic. And he just did. He just did. That's in our heritage. We just do. Sometimes we do wrong, but we're just going to do. We're going to do. We're going to do. We're going to do. Guess what Noah did? Do you not believe that Noah was very risky? Was risk on with Noah? Noah was very risky, wasn't he? Thus he was successful, saved his life. Thus he had salvation because he was risky. He got deliverance. He got salvation because he risked. Because I'm pretty sure logic told him, "Don't. Why are you building this? Fool, go over there and have a drink with the rest of your people over there. I ain't always messing with this stuff. You wasted all these years doing all this stuff. Are you kidding me? Go over there and take some R&R, some downtime." Was this not a risk for Noah? Will we not say that? My goodness. Risk on, right? Truly a risk. Who here in this room is willing to take the risk? This is what it's all about. This is what rubber hits the road. You got to look at your life and say, I'm willing to take this risk. If I fail, so what? I'm going to risk again. It's going to be risk on, risk on, risk on, and risk on. That's what you must learn. Sometimes you're going to risk and you may lose. So what? We're going to risk again. We're going to risk again. Because I'm not a loser, I'm a winner. I just gained a lot of experience from it. Because it's risk on. I'm not going to ever give up, and I'm not going to ever give in, and I'm not going to say I can't because I can. I am can. I am not can't. Don't ever do affirmations in the negative. Just don't do it. Don't ever say I am not can, because you're already giving energy. You see, you're giving vibration to can't. You understand what I'm saying? So always keep your affirmations positive. Do you get me? So some of you may have in your journals, I will not do it. Don't never say I will not. Never use any negative in your affirmation, in your journaling, okay? Make sure you all understand that. Because then you're giving energy to the can't. You're giving energy to the negative side. Frequency and vibration to the negative side. You don't want to do that. You with me, Ms. Baha? I know we're getting ready to close in a minute, but I want you to see this. And I hope you're learning something this day. No, I don't hope. My desire is that you're learning something that you can take away. You get a takeaway. Every day I want you all to get a takeaway from life. Especially on Shabbat, because Shabbat's not a day, by the way. Now let's look at this number right here. Remember we talked about this? And look at Genesis chapter 8, verse 3. And the Ma'im receded continually from the earth at the end of the 350 days. The Ma'im decreased. Now, remember I said, make sure you write down the... no, I'm sorry, that wasn't 350. That was what? 150, I'm sorry. 150 days, the Ma'im decreased. I want you all... How many of you wrote down the 150 on a piece of paper? Or you have a mental picture of the 150? Anybody do that? Anybody do that? Because here's something that's going to blow your mind. Okay, great. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take that 150, and I want you to add all those numbers up together and tell me what you get. Take out the 150, add all the numbers. What do you get? What do you get? Now, remember, this all happened, you get the number 6, right? Can anybody tell me the relevance of the number 6? It's a beautiful number, by the way. Can anybody tell me the relevance of the number 6? Anybody? Do you know what the number 6 means in numerology? What does the number 6 mean in numerology? 6 is the number for man. Ooh, wee! 6 is the number for man. So, do you see this? Now, you know, the flood happened, it's finished, and now look, man is now getting a fresh start. Here, man, this is for you. Here's your fresh start. Because look, the first time there was some, let's just say, some outside influence. Do you see the mercy and grace in Elohim? He's like, look, man, here's another chance for you. Do you see it? Isn't it beautiful? He's like, here you go, man. Washed everything clean, clean slate. How many of you see this? 6 is the number for man. Baruch Hashem. Isn't that beautiful? So he's like, here, man, here's your new start. Now, the first time, we had some outside influence. Do you see the beauty and the grace and the mercy that Elohim has for humanity? He's like, look, I understand. These fallen ones came down and corrupted you guys. But that's okay. I'm going to bend a little bit. Do you see it? Now I'm starting to piece it together, and it's beautiful, isn't it, Oliver? It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. He's like, okay, man, here we go. I'm going to go through this. Let me see where your faithfulness is. Let me see if you're willing to obey me, or if you stuck in logic like the rest of them fools over there. Isn't that beautiful? And he said, okay, now put you in this boat, and I'm giving you, now the water going to come down, boom. 150 days, boom. Then we get this. Now, I'm getting ready to close, but I'm closing with another numerology for you that's really going to just blow you away. It's really going to blow you. It's just totally beautiful. Our heritage, the God that we serve, our family, Israel, we're deep. We're deep. Our roots go very, very deep, Mishpahah. And it's so beautiful to see the interaction between, you know, our Creator and man. It's so beautiful. But we're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna look at. Okay, so we see that the ark has landed, and we got this beautiful number for man, the 150 days. But then let's go down to Genesis chapter 8, verse 20. And Noah built an altar to Yahweh, and took every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. Look at verse 21. And Elohim smelled a soothing aroma. I'm reading from the Abrahamic-Faith Bible, by the way. Then Yahweh said in his heart, I will never again curse the earth for man's sake. Listen to what he says. Although the imaginations of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. Talks about that imagination. Although the imagination of man's heart is evil, negative energy. Imagination. You remember the words that we read, the quote that we read about imagination? I'm paraphrasing. A man without imagination has no wings. You all remember we read that earlier? Imagination. Is imagination important to Elohim, to Master Yahweh? For humanity to have, good imaginations, right? So, when we look at what happened here, was that there was no imagination, had no wings, man couldn't fly. Yet the Nephilim, the fallen ones, were flying around, but man could never, because they had no imagination. Their imaginations was negativity. I want to fly. So I can see that the Nephilim had a field day. See, because they were dealing with people that were unconscious. So they just became robots and they would just do whatever the Nephilim wanted them to do. You understand, the fallen ones had a higher capacity. I mean, these are heavenly beings that came down to earth. Do you now understand why Elohim, Master Yahweh, gave us a get out of jail card for free? Do you understand? Because man was coming from we was coming from a lesser ability, capacity. And guess what? The fallen ones took advantage of that. Do you not get that? I hope you all see that. It's beautiful when you can put the pieces together to the puzzle. Do you all see that? So beautiful. So Elohim said, no, I'm going to give man another chance. I'm going to deal with the Nephilim. I got them. And this is the process I'm going to use to deal with them. Flood, destroy them all, get them out the way, put them in a place where they need to be put until the time being when I'm going to deal with them. But I need to move man and give them a fresh start. Are you all with me? Isn't this a beautiful, beautiful history that we have? Isn't it rich, deep? All that in a bag of chips with a soda. Because of the imaginations of man's heart was evil. So believe me, imagination is very important. You all need to have one, but it needs to be on the positive side. For a long time in my life, I lived a life with no imagination because I was under mind control. I was too busy trying to deal with my mind and what it was telling me I had to do. Just like Michael Jackson said, my mind was always playing tricks on me. How many of you know what I'm talking about? That I never got around to imagining. And if I did, I just explained it away. It's just whatever. I was so preoccupied being under mind control and logic of just running the roost. How many of you been there, done that? But Baruch Hashem, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. You see, to appreciate heaven, you got to go through hell. So I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to experience those experiences. Because now that I'm on the other side, I really have a higher appreciation and love and devotion and humility for love, peace, and happiness and being conscious. You know what I mean? Simha saying, guard the portals of the soul, the five senses from the outside influences of the fallen ones so that we can bend to good and have good. Simha. Shalom, shalom, Yom Tov. Yes. Shalom, shalom to you, Simha. Tada for your words. It is spot on as well. I'm in total agreement with that. Total agreement. So this is what we have to examine going forward. Do you see the beauty of the God of Israel? The beauty of the God of creation? She's like, creation, you got dealt a bad blow. I see that. So what we're going to do, we're going to bend a little bit. We're going to come over here. We're going to start fresh. Now, in closing, I'm going to say this because I got to close. Just got to close here in a little bit. I'm going to say this. Here's another beauty for you right here. Here's another beauty for you right here we're going to close with. Okay, this is the one we're going to close with right here. We'll go to Genesis chapter 9. I tell you, we can stay in this Parsha Noach for a very, very long time because there's a lot of great nuggets for us in here. And as the Imhokma continues to reveal them, I'll continue to open them up to all of us. But there's a lot here. But look at Genesis chapter 9, verse 28 and 29. I'm going to close with this. Noach lived after the flood 350 years. So the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Baruch Hashem. He died from this earth. How many of you in this room believe one day you will see Noah, you will see Abraham, you will see Moses? How many of you believe that? Put up a 1 if you believe that. You believe one day you will see Noah, you will see Abraham, you will see Isaac, you will see Jacob, you will see Rahel, you will see Sarah. You believe that with your very being. Baruch Hashem. You are wise people. Okay, here, I'm going to close with this one right here. Let's go back up to Genesis chapter. Now, I want to set the stage here. Now, Nachshon was born. Before Nachshon was born, I not only did I purchase, I did exactly what he said doing. Matter of fact, next week we're going to go get the ring for Nachshon, the golden ring. But I did purchase the lamb, and I gave it out to friends and family, and just people that I knew. So they all get their lamb as we speak. I think all of them end up getting about 5 pounds of lamb. And so that's being done right now. But another thing that I did as well is that in celebration and honor for the birth of my son Nachshon, I also purchased Chinese rice wine. And what I did was, the Chinese rice wine came in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bottle. And this bottle was in the shape of 2 big old circles put together. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. Ancient Chinese bottle that they used to drink out of back in the day. And it reminds me, how many of you eat bitter gourd? Some of the bitter gourd, it has the shape of the bitter gourd. I eat the bitter gourd. Some bitter gourd you can buy lanky, but some have the shape of like a woman's body. You know, a beautiful shaped body, 2 big. So they have these drinking utensils that ancient Chinese used to drink out of that were shaped like this. So the Chinese rice wine comes like this. So my goodness, I must have gave out at least over 30 of those bottles to just friends and family that I know in honor of the birth of Nachshon. Now, I'm going to leave it right there, and we're gonna go through this, and then I'll tell you this on the backside. Genesis chapter 9, verse 28. And Noah, after the flood. Now remember, after the flood lasted for 350 days. Remember, I told you about days. Days are very, very important. So 350 days, and it says after the flood, Noah in Genesis chapter 9, verse 28. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Now, we're going to do the same thing with 350 years. Take the 350 years, add the numbers up, and tell me what you get. Anybody? You get the number 8. Right off of that. You get the number 8. Can anybody tell me about the number 8? What's the significance of the number 8? Can anybody tell me? Numerology. What does the number 8 mean? There you go, Abraham. It means infinity. So, man connected to infinity. So now, again, remember what Hakohi said in his lecture? He said, you don't worry about time because we're infinite. Do you see infinity? Do you see it in here? It's coming right out of our history. Isn't this beautiful? After the flood. This is after the flood. Noah was granted on this earth 350 years. God is telling us we as men, we live for infinity. Infinity. Now, back to the bitter gourd bottles of rice wine. And there's a story behind it, and I gave it to every person that I gave it to. I said, you know what? You take your bottle, after you drink the rice wine, don't throw the bottle away. Put the bottle in your house as a keepsake, a communication piece, because you're going to get a lot of conversations from this piece. It's a beautiful bottle. Turn the bottle on its side, just like you turn the number 8. You turn it on turn 8 on its side, what it does, it makes the infinity symbol. I said this bottle will symbolize and forever blessings in your house. Keep it and put it on. Everybody like, oh wow, that's amazing, that's beautiful. I said, yes it is, because God is amazing and God is beautiful. So they're all taking this. They all have the bottle, and they love the bottle. The bottle in itself is just beautiful, of the Chinese rice wine in this beautiful bitter gourd type shaped bottle. Infinity. Forever for us, Mishpahah. We live forever. You can forever. You're blessed forever. You're now forever. Just why I asked you, You think you will see Noah? Yes, you will. You think you see Abraham? Yes, you will. Because it's forever. They're just gone from this earth. In closing, I want to mention this as well. How many of you watch Netflix? You get Netflix, you can watch Netflix. There's this series on there called Raising Dion. Anybody watch that series yet? Raising Dion. Now, I would encourage you. Hollywood is telling you this spot on. You need to watch this. It's a little short series. It's only one episode, and it's one series. I think it has 9 episodes in it. You can finish it pretty quick. Raising Dion. I would encourage all of you to watch that series, because in the end of that series, I tell you, it's really like a sci-fi type energy frequency movie. Is beautiful. It's called Raising Dion. Watch it. You listen to me on YouTube, watch it. Because Hollywood is even telling you, at the end of that series, they tell you, his father comes back to him and tells him. He said, look, son, his father actually, it was taken by this thing. I ain't going to get all to it, but he comes back to him in the end, and he tells his son, he said, son, I'm so proud of you. He said, I'm going to always be with you. He said, and he's talking to his son, who was just only he's 8-10 years old. He says, son, don't worry, I'm always with you. He said, I'm energy. He said, we're all energy. He said, I'll never leave you. I just changed form. And I'm like, wow, Hollywood is saying this? This is so true. It is so true. We're energy, Mishpachah. Energy doesn't fade away. You don't fade away into deep sleep. No, you just change form. And that should be of good comfort to all of you with your loved ones that have passed on. They just passed on. They changed on into another form. But the energy's still there. I was telling this to the barbershop people. They're like, well, Biggie Smalls is dead. I said, no, he's not. His energy is still with you in his song. You singing it right now. I love it when you call me Big Papa. But you said Big Papa's dead. No, his energy, you still singing his song. Do you get it? And they were like, wow. Energy, it just changes form. We're energy. We don't die. I told them, we like baby's kids. We multiply. We don't die. You just change form. They're like, wow. Wow. That's the beauty of it. And now Hollywood is even telling you in that series, Raising Dion. I was like, my goodness. His father came to him just like that. He said, son, we're all energy. We just change form. I'm in a different form. I'm with you always. I'm with you forever. I'm with you infinity. Baruch Hashem. Isn't that beautiful, Mishpachah? So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up for the Shabbat. I wish you all a great 6 days of labor. I desire all of you to be happy, whole, complete, full of joy, peace, love, full of wealth, blessings that meet and make and go far beyond even what you imagine for yourselves. Baruch Hashem. On that note, we're going to wrap it up, Mishpachah. I love you and I leave you all in the mighty hands of the Master Yahweh. And if the Master Yeshua so desires to linger, we'll see you next Shabbat. And if not, I'm going to see you all in Israel. Baruch Hashem. That's just what's up. Because we what? We infinity, baby. We are infinity, men and women, by the way. Isn't that beautiful? So, on that note, we'll wrap it up. Full of joy, full of peace, full of love, full of happiness for all of you, Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom.